Hi, everybody. This is Susan Knowles with Knowles on the News. Wanted to come on today following the tragic shooting last night at the church in South Carolina. Such horrendous news to hear that allegedly this person, Dylan Ruff, came into the church, sat with them for an hour, and then opened fire, killing 9 people, including the pastor and senator of the church. People woke up to this horrendous news this morning on the West Coast, and it's just another indication of where we are. You know, you often hear people talk about this being spiritual warfare, and I think that we have to finally realize that this is what we're in. It's not about race. It's not about gender. It's not about anything else. This is absolutely spiritual warfare. I don't know how much more evil it could get than for a person to come into a house of worship, sit with the congregation there in the Bible study for an hour, listening to the Word of God, and then allegedly, we'll have to say, opening fire and killing 9 people. Thank goodness he has been arrested, and perhaps now, as we start the healing process in South Carolina, we can begin to move forward and to start realizing that we need to come together as one people. This isn't about color. I really wish that people would understand that, and perhaps maybe they're understanding that today. It's not about what race you are. It's about coming together as human beings, children of God, and working together to resolve and get rid of this evil that is attacking us. And as long as we're made to attack each other, we can never get to the root of the problem. You know, I grew up in North Carolina, and I know the people of North Carolina and South Carolina are very proud people. For the most part, they're very God-fearing, God-loving people. And the people right now in South Carolina are showing and setting the example for the rest of the world as they hold a prayer vigil right now at this hour in remembrance of all those that died. They're not angry. You know, You can be angry, and that doesn't resolve anything. You know, you have to look and see what's going on and figure out how to resolve that. And quite honestly, I think one of the ways that you resolve that is you turn back to God. You turn back to the principles of the Bible that this country, Christian principles that this country was founded upon. And I'm not saying those things to put down any other religion. I'm saying those things based upon my own beliefs. If you have a different belief, God love you, go ahead, do whatever you have to do. I'm just talking right now to those people who believe in Christian beliefs. And again, not to put down anybody else's beliefs, but I want to lift up our own Christian beliefs, get us back to where we need to be, which is focused on God and focused on how we as a nation help each other to get through times like this. And the one thing, we don't need Al Sharpton coming in and beginning, to spew his hate over the people of Charleston, South Carolina, and around this nation. And I hope that people would pull together and not allow that to happen. We don't need a decisive individual who gets paid to do that type of thing, to come in and to stir things up. I think what I've seen reports this morning, I really see the people of Charleston, South Carolina, showing the nation who they really are and setting an example for what others should do in times of tragedy. There's not anger. There's only love for God. There's love for the fellow human beings today. And I hope that continues. And the monster that did this will pay with justice. And we need to figure out how we move forward and how we continue to be the people, the good people that God put us here to be. And that is in being united together in times of trouble, but also in times of everyday life. There are so many people out there who are hurting, so many people that need to hear the Word of God, and they can only do that when we are together as a people. And again, I have to say that people in North Carolina, South Carolina that I grew up with, they're very much focused on God, very much family-oriented, God-centered people that only want to do the right thing. You know, evil comes about when we take our eye off of where we should be. And, you know, that is going to happen from time to time. I think it's what we're seeing is just more and more of it happening because, quite frankly, you know, we have turned away from God. Our television programs, you know, what we see, what we look at every day, what our children are exposed to. It's not God-centered. It's not God-focused. And we just need to turn back and get back to the roots of where this country started. And, you know, I'm disappointed already to see one of the mainstream news stations starting to talk about guns, you know, and we're going to, again, we're going to automatically take the focus off of where it should be. We're going to start talking about gun control and Second Amendment now, rather than the roots of all these issues that we're seeing these days and what is just every day becoming commonplace. The shootings that we read about every single day seem to be growing. And we need to take a look at that. We need to stop putting Band-Aids on things. We need to start recognizing the issue and figuring out what to do. And we can only figure out these things if we work together. It is about togetherness. It is about, you know, different people, even different religions coming together and saying, you know, we feel the same problem that you do. We feel the same hurt from the problems that you face. And although we're not giving up our religion and coming over to your religion, which is fine, nobody needs that. But what we need is just working together on those things that we do have commonality. And one of the things, if you want to put religion aside, it's about treating human beings with respect and receiving that respect and helping out your fellow human being when they need the help. There's too much in this world that needs to be looked at and corrected, and we can only do that if we work together. And I hope that today that you can put aside any feelings that you have of why this happened and, you know, on and on and on, and just look at the grieving people in Charleston, South Carolina. Put yourself in their shoes, because at one time or the other, we've all been through something this tragic. I pray for the people in Charleston, South Carolina, that they can heal. Again, I know that they're good people. And I hope they can begin to help this nation as a whole begin to heal. And I'm just looking at the people and watching them in the prayer vigil. You can see the type of individual that this pastor was in the church, because they all came together. He led them well. And I know that he is with God and looking down on the people right now, Charleston, and you know they can be so happy to know where he's at and that he's in a better place, and what they received from being in his church, the love of God, the love of fellow human beings, and the love that will keep them going and keep them focused in the right place on God. I hope that you will say a prayer for them and continue to help heal this nation. We all need that. We need to get back again to our roots, which is focusing on God and helping other people. Hate has no place in a world like that. This is Susan Knowles for Knowles on the News.